Hello, SBHB. My name is you. My name is Rev, and today we'll be discussing the draft from the league. Wayne, take it away.
We'll be also talking about, before we get into all that stuff for next season, we'll be talking to the Super Bowl two Blitz champions, the Toronto Triples. Um, thank you. And Ducks, and here joining us also is our favorite co-host, Mr. Lem.
Hello.
And I don't think I should be the one to introduce the TTT. So Ducks, Mr. Captain Ducks,
Hello,
take it away.
everyone. It's Captain Duxor. You all know me. I also have Honesty, aka Ocho, with me. Do you want to introduce yourself, Ocho? Oh, he's doing the classic mute himself. Prism, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello.
Ocho, would you like to introduce yourself?
Wait, what did Prism say?
And there he is, and there's our team.
All right, that was the introduction that I don't think any of us expected from the champions. Um, I think your post game interviews go harder than that intro. Um, well, Mr. Ducks, as captain of the team, um, how did you guys celebrate your win on Sunday night?
Well, yeah, it was a fairy tale season. We got the win at the end. We celebrated by doing a VOD review, actually. Uh, we just watched the game back together and just we're focusing on Prizzle just making perfect throws all game, and yeah, we were wasn't too much celebrations, but we were all very happy to win.
Honestly, just a good old circle jerk.
That's right.
Hmm. Now,
Hand holding.
now, how many of us are you talking about? Are you talking to you three, or are we talking about the whole team, team session here?
It was us three, then Sin joined in at the very end, of course. He just wanted to reap in the glory, but he wasn't there the whole time.
Hmm. Ocho, did you throw back some more beers or whatever you were having that night?
Not really. Pretty sober.
Man, I gotta
Well, let me
say,
tell you, I
Other
had some buffalo chips, though. That was a nice little victory snack.
Wait, can you describe these buffalo chips?
Yeah, like some buffalo wing chips. They got a little bit of a ridge to them, pretty vinegary. Actually had some the leftovers for last night, and I think that kind of upset my stomach for the past 2 days, but it hit at the time.
All right, so was it like a chip that had a buffalo spice on it, or was it like when you open a bag, or was it like at a restaurant you get like some fancy buffalo nachos or something like that?
Oh, no, 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 just the bag. Shout out to
Gotcha,
HEB. You guys are missing that not being in Texas.
gotcha.
well, guys, honestly, like I'm speechless, kind of like the night of the Super Bowl, but maybe as Ducks kind of alluded to, Prism, you had quite the offensive efficiency. I what I had to step up and do the stats for the Super Bowl, and while doing it, I realized that you went perfect in the playoffs. I don't know if you knew that, but you went perfect, and not only did you go perfect, you scored a touchdown on every possession in the postseason. Did you know that? And number two, how, how were you able to get the job done so easily?
I think I knew it the day after, but I think what it came down to is our first matchup against the Eggs. I just refused to sneak in the red zone, and so after that, we didn't. We stopped turning over the ball. We just had one hook play against Money's team that was an unfortunate throw, but other than that, we played pretty clean rest of the season. Uh, Kind of just took the sneak when it was available. Like in the Finns World game, the blitzer just refused to blitz me. So I mean, what am I gonna do?
Hmm. Um, where you say that was perhaps the reviews of practice sessions and film that you knew that Finn's World along with maybe other teams in the league also refused to blitz do?
No, I didn't do any film review on Finns World, but I just kind of expected it. I guess you could say against the Eggs because that's how they played me the first time. I I think there's just the way people play in pubs is not. I'm not gonna play the same way in league because I mean I don't want to run in pubs, but if you make the spy too obvious, I gotta do what I gotta do.
That's right. Um, on the flip side of the ball here, Ducks, you had 9 sacks on Finn. I think earlier in the season you may have also had 9 sacks on him. Uh, would you like where would you rank Finn in terms of scrambling and running as a QB? Like, would you say that it's a little bit difficult, or you just have his number because it's well documented that Finn says that you have his number along with Turkey.
Yeah, I guess the way we blitz is the correct way to blitz Finn. Um, I feel like he played differently in the Super Bowl compared to our previous game. The previous game, if I did, I really have the same amount of sacks in each game. That's kind of wild to me.
I don't know exactly, but I think
Okay,
you might have had still at least 8 sacks
so
on
I had
Finn.
9, and
Yeah,
interesting.
9 in the Super Bowl. Yeah,
Yeah, I feel like the first half I couldn't really get to him. I was getting just like he would roll up and then just roll down, and I would just not be ready for the move down, and my screen would I use mouse only, so like just wasn't ready for it basically. And then the second half, or maybe the end of the first half, I kind of got an idea of his roll pattern, and then I felt like I was getting to him more. Um, but yeah, I guess in terms of his QB like juking, I feel like he's good at juking, but I guess the way me and Turkey play, we're very patient with our boosting, very patient with our angles. So we don't get he doesn't get like a quick juke in on us majority of the time. So I guess it just works for us. I feel like Irv is another one but Irv's probably better than Finn if I had to say like in terms of scrambling. But I didn't get a chance to blitz versus Irv this year because Ocho or Aaron Donald actually blitzed that game.
Ultra, do you remember how well you did against Irv that game?
Yeah, I think we held up 13 points, so I did my job.
Yeah, and apologies for everyone listening. The Ocho's mic seems to be going. It's fluctuating for me. I don't know if it's the same for you
You need to
guys.
come a little closer, Gats. Move it a little
Boys,
closer.
can you can you hear me?
Yeah, we can
Yes.
hear you. Just make sure you're
It's,
talking loud enough and close enough.
So I was saying, like, if I remember correctly, I believe we held them to 13 points that game. So if we could have converted a second touchdown, we would have won, right?
right. Um,
That's correct.
s- well, Ocho, you had perhaps on the defensive side of the ball, probably maybe two of the biggest plays. That's in addition to Ducks, dominance on the front of the lines throughout the game. I think you came up with 2 interceptions that game, and post game, you said that you were the best RB on the field. So, want to walk us through what you saw during those 2 interceptions? Did you jump it? I know Priz had a jump in the second, but ultimately you came up with the catch. So, yeah, just walk us through what you were seeing on those particular 2 plays.
So for those 2 interceptions, I believe the first one, it was just a reaction. And if I remember correctly, I think Wayne just misplayed it, and it just like went right to me. And then the second interception, I think, was just like a forced pass by Finn into the middle, where Prism got to it, he tipped the ball, and then it just fell to me again. And I think both of those plays were to Wayne too.
Yeah, I can tell you from my perspective, guys, that the first one I definitely dropped. Yeah, I just dropped that one. I think I tried to do that timing where you boost as soon as you catch it, and it looked like it just wasn't in my favor. It was a close call, but ultimately it went to you, and that's a drop on my part. Now on the second one, I when I watched back that replay of that particular play, um, it looked like it was executed poorly on our end, but at the same time. Priz jumped it, and I think I saw Priz jump it, and therefore I knew I had to like make a block for it. And I think Priz or I, because of our uh, quick decision to do something for that quick pass, I think one of us created a spawn movement with the Scourge, and ultimately just fell into your hands there, Ocho. But those are still great plays by both you and Priz. Um, and yeah, that's just for that particular play.
Yep.
Lem,
So in,
yeah, go ahead, Lem.
I was gonna say, so in line with some more defensive questions from the defensive player of the year, not to toot my own horn or anything, but so in this game and in other games in the league this season, did you guys call defenses, and did any of those calls um, work for you guys or seem to confuse the other offenses or anything like that?
I feel like we probably called the most defenses in the game versus Smith. Would you guys agree with that?
100%.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
the first playoff game. Um, just because what was the reasoning for that? I mean, I guess we had a better idea of like how to run them as well, and then we were switching more, and we were just like getting more comfortable with it. But during the Super Bowl, barely at all. We were doing a lot of C2. We did maybe a couple hacks Ds, but it was very like we did like two trap Ds, maybe three, and the rest was just like purely C2 with me hardcore blitzing.
Yeah, I think when you're going against Finn at QB, he has like a relentless pace, so you don't even have time to call something. If you do call something, then one of your players might be out of position.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so I can walk you through a little bit. Yeah, so against Smith, it was a lot of trap D. The first drive, we played pretty safe, and we just got driven on a little too easily. So we decided to play a little bit more aggressive, throw a lot of looks at him. And I think we probably got pretty fortunate that game, but like it worked for us pretty well. And the other adjustment we made at the end of the season is that me and Ocho would just change up what side we're playing. So not even just switching on hike, we would do that too. But like, he'd be like, this play, I'm gonna get top and I'll get bottom. Because I think one thing is you can really figure out people's tendencies, and you can just throw off QBs. It helps you a little bit.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I think a lot of the more experienced QBs like know how to attack certain people in coverage based on their tendencies. Like someone like me, I'm not there yet with QBing, and I just throw whatever side. I'm not like thinking like, oh, this is Ocho in coverage, he's gonna do this. But like someone like maybe you, Prism, or Finn, or Wayne, or whatever, might be like, oh yeah, I know like the perfect calls to do against these people because their tendencies. So if you're saying you're gonna like switch positions or call certain things that disguise what you're actually doing, then I can see how it can confuse some of the more experienced people.
Yeah, like this is a question for you, Priz. On that note, I think two plays stand out where I think you may have known our tendencies offensively. Sorry, us defensively, you guys offensively. So the first one was the touchdown before halftime, which is, in my opinion, the potentially turning point or where it all started to go wrong for our team. Was when I think Ocho ran a hitch up for a touchdown right before half. Um, did you design it in a way where you knew Finn may just jump at you short there, and that's why you had full confidence that Ocho would get open for that deep pass to end the half? And then the second one is in the second half, you had one on me where I think you ran a 90 up for Ducks a few times, and then on the third one, I think. Yeah, you've done this to me before. I'm pretty sure you did it to me last Super Bowl, where you did an anti-roll deep touchdown in the corner. But yeah, I just was curious if those were two plays designed for those results.
Yeah, the first one I figured, okay, we're already in field goal range. We might as well try something. So I've never called that play where it's just from the donut 90 out hitch. Um, we had been working Finn's short side, so I figured, why not try that? Set up the fake Rafe. I know Finn doesn't Rafe watch, I don't think, but you know what I mean. Set it up, and thought we'd see what we can get. If not, we get closer in the field goal range. I was surprised that Blue was actually the closest one to it, but Ocho ended up having a good catch. Then the second one, yeah, for sure. I wasn't sure if I was going to use that play. It kind of just comes to me sometimes, but I think I had run like two slants on top, or slants, 90s, whatever you want to call them. Uh, so that play, I did ducks. He did like a half slant up, then cut to mid, and like you said, you played the role, and I just I saw Ocho open, so just chucked it. It's
Yeah,
usually the anti-roll play if someone's playing a little bit too far on my roll.
yeah, it's got me back. It's got me twice on back-to-back Super Bowls. Although other team, I think other QBs have tried that on me, but I feel like you probably have the best success rate on me on those. Maybe it's just the timing. It's probably the timing of the play and when it happens. And I may have been getting frustrated at think leaving the top short completely open back to back like that. But regardless, I think that was a good call on both of those plays. Um, I guess. Ocho, you had 4 touchdowns. I think I could be wrong, guys. Like you guys correct me if I'm wrong. I think for most of the season, Ducks, you were probably the guy that had the most touchdown catches. You were obviously in the running for offensive player of the year. Ocho, did you expect yourself to get 4 touchdowns in a big game like this?
Um, I think touchdowns are like not random, but it's whatever the quarterback wants. So I wasn't surprised. I knew if he threw me the ball that I would get the job done. So that
Yeah, I mean, Ocho has come out and said if you can't see anyone's username, you wouldn't know if he's Wayne or not because he's just that good.
That's right. He did say that. Did anyone agree with him?
Bruce,
Oh,
thoughts?
I agree.
I think Tony did.
I
okay.
agree. I mean, removing this game, I could definitely tell, who's me and who's you. But in this particular game, no, you did outplay me. Like I said, I had a drop, and I even though it may have been a risky throw by Finn for the second interception, I'm not sure if you would agree with me, Priz, but if a receiver could block it, that's on you, right? It may not be the best throw or the best decision, but I think when it gets to those certain scenarios, you expect players to be able to block at least. And so, regardless, you guys made a great play. You guys got the interception, and our defense just wasn't there that night.
Yeah, with that said, that was a hard one to block. And I feel like I just recognized the play. I think Finn likes to run that play. I guess since we played each other 2 times, that's where that helps out. And yeah, I just didn't buy the wide receiver slant, and I think he boosted at the start, so it's a no-show type of decision.
Um, yeah, I knew that sorry, like when I watched the replay, I knew that play wasn't gonna work, and why you jumped is because I don't think we ran a single wide receiver slant all game, or threw even a short pass all game for like when I say short pass, I mean like the 3-4 yards type of passes. So if I was in
Mhm.
your position, I would have also jumped it because I don't trust it's a slant. But yeah, that was a great read at a great time.
Yeah, and I think on the opposite end, that's why I did a bunch of just simple plays that game since I feel like y'all were gonna jump the double and triple route, so just a bunch of like slants, 90s, nothing too crazy.
Um, just a random question here, Lem, for you, because you were the spectator in in this position. Um, if you had to choose who struggled more in that game, Finn or myself, or maybe you could put it as 50-50. Uh, Maybe you also say Squid or Intox, but I think they played as well as we expected them to be honest. But if you were to say, in your opinion, Lem, who struggled more, Finn or myself?
So I think you made a couple like small mistakes. Well, they were small mistakes. I would say small mistakes, but they're actually like pretty big. Like the interception
Hmm.
where you could have caught it, and then um and then giving up the roll away touchdown. But those are like pretty hard things relatively to do. I felt like Finn overall was just less disciplined and was giving up a lot of short and medium routes. And it was just like allowing TTT to just chunk down the field. So I would say overall wasn't Finn's best game. And I think I was saying that in the commentary too.
Yeah, um, I would agree. I think from my own perspective, being the guy that was listening to his play calls, I think it wasn't his best play calling. And even when he took those sacks, I've always said this, like, you know, you can take as many sacks as you want, just get the first down, right? But even when we got faced with those third and longs or whatever, I think the play was either like, you know, redo the play or something like not effective, like something deep again. And so I found us moving the chains ineffectively or putting us in tougher scenarios than we should have been. But regardless, that's credit to the TTT defense. From the back line to the front line, you guys played a perfect game, right? Did you guys feel like you guys were playing a perfect game throughout that game?
Yeah. I mean, where'd honesty go? Oh, his power went out. Okay. Um. Anyway, uh, yeah, the game felt extremely surgical by Prizzle to me, like more so than any other game. It just felt like I never had to like catch a jump ball. I never had to like really do anything at all. Like he threw me a pass, it was perfectly timed, or I was wide open. Like I don't know if any other game felt that clean from him all season. Maybe I'd have to look back, but I really don't remember any game feeling quite like that. So
I think that lends credence to like how well you guys were playing. Um, you brought with the earlier interception and taking the lead and scoring, you can like slow down the game. You can call simpler plays. There's like less stress on you overall, less pressure to make something happen. I think when you have that recipe put together, it just makes for like a way more easygoing game. And I know from our games, like if you're playing from behind, there's just more pressure to try to get more done quickly.
yeah, there weren't many games that season. I guess we were playing from behind. Um, I have to look back to remember exactly like how many we actually had to come back and win, compared to like games we were just ahead pretty much the whole time. Um, but Priz, how did you feel about that game? Did you feel like you were just cooking, or there he is, he's quacking.
A little bit, yeah. I do think we, and answer your question earlier, not that it was to me, but I do think we went after Finn more that game because last game I went after bottom a lot, so I thought I'd mix it up with top. And then secondly, because these QB, I still feel like QB you can abuse more. And then third is because I think we mix up our tendencies better than they did. I think they should have put Finn as a short guy more often, but I feel like usually it was Wayne, so I figured top side was a better route.
Mm,
And then on offense, in addition, not to just to the sacks, I felt like he couldn't do long routes or complicated plays because Dux was just going to get to him.
yeah, I would say, like just speaking from what I remember of last season and this season, um, I do agree that Finn usually is the short guy and plays the short because it allows him to take his chances. Maybe because he was the shuttle unit, maybe we switched it up, or just we just were switching up as we usually would. But no, this time around, I think you're right, where he played more deep and I played more short, and maybe I'm just not as good as Finn covering short, or we just called the wrong defense at the wrong time. I would say that the one thing that we would have liked to have done more against you guys is play better, like sorry, be in scenarios to play more hacks deep, or even start off the drive like the first downs with a hacks deep defense. I'm not saying that would have changed anything, but I feel like clearly what we did that night didn't work. We were getting rolled over. I don't know if you saw the stats, but I don't think you guys had one fourth down. I mean, sorry, we didn't put you guys in any fourth down situations that night.
Yeah, we did. I think we did comment on that. Maybe even that night after the game, we did. Someone mentioned that we hadn't been in a fourth. We weren't in a fourth down situation that entire game. Like we
I
were
think
just
that was me.
converting. Yeah,
Yeah, I
it
think
was
y'all's
very
best
explained.
situation was like the 3rd and 13 that like was like a double 90. I got too cocky the play before, and I said they're gonna two blitz, and then I called the worst possible play against it.
Oh
What
yeah,
was
was
that
that the
play?
slant down up for me, and then I was the lure.
Yeah, it was a wide receiver reverse slant and a RB post 90 from the hash.
Right. Yeah.
There it is. All right. Um, we will still be talking about the matchup here, but at the same time, I wanted to uh, leave it to you guys. Any final thoughts on what you thought about the Super Bowl? Were you surprised of how the first game you guys blew the Wave Picantas 52-7, and then the Super Bowl you blow it away with a 44-22 game? Like, it's just the dream team coming true at the right moments, right? Like. You have guys have any final thoughts on such a great season?
Ocho, why
Ocho?
don't you go?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Just final thoughts on your season, on a beautiful season, and you know, like maybe Ocho for you, like you know what? Actually, I have a question for you, Ocho. So all week, we hear this internal combustion between you and Prism, right? And how did you guys come into that game, final game? You were whatever, just finished at the bar. How were you guys able to put things aside and just get the job done that night?
Um, well, basically, ever since we won that first round playoff game against Lemnos, Tony, and Smith, um, I was just not checked out, but like pretty confident in our ability to win in the Super Bowl, especially because I know we already beat Finn's World twice this season, and like I was kind of just bored from practicing. But I think Prism was a bit more concerned about how that game would go, and he wanted to get some more reps in. So there was like a little bit of a conflict there, but it ended up working out, right? 44-22. I don't know like how much better we could have done.
Let me just interject. He was going on rants about how easy it's going to be, et cetera, et cetera. And I just said, oh, maybe you should get some reps in instead of just talking. I wasn't saying we should practice, but a little miscommunication.
We should get some reps in, not practice.
Yeah, I was telling your ass to go in the fucking blitz lobby.
Yeah, that's not practice, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So what you're saying is that Ocho was getting rusty and wasn't being good enough for the team overall.
Well, Dux can tell you about his hacksball rust and how he looks when he takes time off.
I did bring that up, didn't I? Ocho is not the type that can just come back and be good at Hacksball. I could go for a year and be a god still, but I think he would struggle.
Uh,
But and that might be different with Blitz, dude. He's a bit of a natural at Blitz, so maybe I was wrong. But I was not, for the record, I was not asking Ocho to practice. I don't think he needs to practice personally. Maybe if he was playing QB, but even then, I think he gets his sip on, steps on the field, and he's just ready. So,
Well,
um,
Yeah.
like I said, most of the season, I think whether Ocho agrees with me or not, he did it. I think personally, he improved a lot over the season. I saw his defense grow much stronger. He showcased that by getting the 2 interceptions. He's legitimately hard to play against on defense. So good work to you, Ocho. Um, but yeah, maybe you didn't need to practice because you're just that good already now.
I
uh,
mean, like I said, if I was quarterback, then maybe as a point, but a running back, like unless he wants me to practice routes or something, I don't see a point.
and to answer your question, your original question, Wayne, Duxor is the reason that we were able to get a team on the field.
that's
That's the
right.
reason.
That's
That's
right.
right.
That's the
I
cap.
called him at the bar.
There it is. Captain Ducks, you're the captain of the year. Jeff, not you. Even first round votes don't didn't count. Didn't matter. But yes, Ducks, great job. Um, we've been saying it all season. We saw you uh, unleash the beast in Cutler in the first game that he played, and then in you know training Sin to become the best T5 player this league has seen to date, apparently. It's all, all thanks to you. And Ocho, Priz, um, how much would you say Ducks, I guess, brought you guys together? Did he bring you guys closer? Did he bring out the best in you? Like, do you guys have any nice things you guys want to say to your captain?
Sing
He's
it.
the calming voice. No matter if it's me and Ocho playing with them, if it's me with Cuddy playing with them, just to move on to the next play. He kept telling us as soon as we start the game, we're going to be locked in. He's just calm. He's like waves at the ocean.
That's right.
Ocho?
Honesty.
So, Bruce,
Yes?
Bruce,
Yeah.
Yes?
would you describe Duxer as an angel?
Uh, without knowing what it's like to be in the locker room with Ducks, I think he's been an angel to me ever since he came into the world of Blitz with us.
I agree.
And there you go.
All right, guys. We'll be for sure be digging into more of this, what Ducks calls the rivalry that has been brought back to life between you and Prism. But before we get to that, I unfortunately have to bring up this uncomfortable topic of, Priz versus myself. It was an extension from the last episode, as you guys might have heard. Um, to give you guys some context, and we know this already. The first tournament we came back, Gen 1, although on paper we won, it was technically a 1-1 series between Priz's team and myself. And then Super Bowl one happens. We go up against each other. We were fortunate enough to get the W. And then season two, Priz, you guys, and with Ducks and Ocho, you guys got the job done against us. I guess um, before I guess I have to answer this question, who do I think is better? Priz, I will, you guys are our guests. You guys are the Super Bowl champs. Priz, any thoughts on that debate between you and I? And yeah, whatever you would like to say or add to that.
I don't think there is any debate. I'm just happy being a top 10 player. It's
uh,
nice and cozy.
okay, this is not a shot. This is not a shot from me, Priz. I swear.
It's a
Um,
shot.
there was a media release. I think it was last night actually, where it said who was that blitzer, and it said, let me just read it to you guys. It says, who is that blitzer? Number one, actual goal, league goal, proven goal. Number two, top three toxicity chart. Three, fake humble. Fourth closest relative is Wayne, aka son. Five, dislikes law enforcement. Now, I don't care about those other points. We all know I think this was reference to you, Priz. At least I think it is. But the
Why do you
key,
think that?
why do I think that? I think it's because of the closest relative and the actual goal, apparently. Um, but what I wanted to focus in on was not those other points, was the fake humble. Is this a sign of fake humble when you called yourself a top 10 player?
No?
No?
I thought we were gonna lose going into the game, and I thought the game against Tony would be pretty even. I think I just had QB and you had RB.
Ducks? I mean, sorry, not Ducks. Ocho. Any thoughts on that? Do you think he's fake humbling at the moment, calling himself a top 10?
I mean, I think that's exactly why people call Prism fake humble. Like he knows he's above top 10, but then he's gonna be two-faced and say he's only top 10. That's like kind of fake humble.
Where do you put me then, Ocho?
No, this is about you and where you put yourself.
Well, I put myself top 10 because I look at Wayne, Finn, Irv, and they guard much better than me. Whereas I just click back and then hope the QB throws it up like Young does.
I'll
That's
say
fake humble.
I'll say this, Priz. While
Like,
you're definitely entitled to your own opinions, and I would love to hear the thoughts from Defensive Player of the Year. Where he ranks certain players in defense. I think all season, Priz, not just one game or two games. I think you did play better than me defensively all season. Um, I don't remember last season, to be honest, so I'm not gonna make a call on that. But this season, I definitely don't think I played up to par. I think that it showed. I think it showed in the Super Bowl. For whatever reason, we were not clicking. Yes, we had a different blitzer, but I don't think it was anything that they were doing. I think it was the coverage from Finn and I, but specifically myself. So yeah, and like I said, that second interception, I don't think Ocho would have got that interception if it wasn't for you jumping that route to begin with.
No, I agree. Prizone jumping that is what gave me that second interception.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
I'll take it, but I will say Ocho was the better defender in coverage than me.
Lem, uh,
Just
Defensive Player of the Year. Would you like to chime in your thoughts on, maybe I don't care about our team, like us, but who are your top five defensive players? You could be overall, it could just be coverage, whatever you want.
I think so. My problem is I must have like short-term memory loss or something. Like I can't, like I black out on like who has what capabilities, and I can like I feel like I can like assess things in the moment, and I know who's like doing something well or not too great. So my list might not be that good because I like can't remember anything. But I feel like for top five in the league, and it's not going to be in any specific order because I'm trying to work through them in my head.
Is it offense or defense
Um,
or both?
there's defense.
Okay.
I think Irv is up there. His coverage is like impossible to throw on. He'll cover like slants and 90s and deeps at the same time. I don't know how he does it. I think Tony's medium to deep coverage is actually really good. So I think Tony is up there. I think I have to put myself up there because of the last two seasons and being runner-up first season and getting DPOTY for the second season. I don't feel like Finn, Wayne, Prism that it's impossible to throw on you guys. I think you guys do give up stuff once in a while. I think Ocho is actually up there, and I honestly can't really think of a fifth right now. So my list might be complete garbage, but that's kind of the direction I'm leaning.
Portis.
So, Portis, yeah. Oh my God, he covers everything without even talking.
That's right.
And Ducks, you also might be up there too. It's just hard to like once you start getting to like, 5 or whatever. Like there might be a 5-way tie for number 5. But yeah, I think that's kind of the gist of where my list is going.
Fair enough. So let me ask you, Lem, if you were the GM of the team, and this is just because of the conversation we're having about defense, would you put more emphasis on a great defender player? Does that make sense? And versus a great offensive player, which one would you prioritize if you were building a team for next season?
Can we give some examples? Like who's a great defensive player and who's a great offensive player?
Well, one might say CJ is a good offensive player. How's his defense, Wayne?
Oh God.
Who's a great
I would
defensive player?
say to answer your question, Briz, I think okay, you know what? CJ, if you're listening, your defense is not great as you're saying it is. You're as exploitable as all of us. We're not in the top 3 that Lem just mentioned, unfortunately. I wish we were, but Lem is right. We give up our plays, and so do you. So welcome to the club of average.
Ocho, to give you an example of a great defensive player, Lemnos. There you go.
You go.
I definitely give up a lot of stuff, and if you look at our game film, you'll see me give up a lot of stuff too. And I don't know necessarily why, but I still do it once in a while. But I think if we're going back to Wayne's question, I definitely like to prioritize defense because I think it's easier to end up building chemistry with someone on offense than it is on defense. I think there's a lot more moving parts on defense personally. Like when I was playing a pub game with Ocho, we were like in each other's heads. It was really cute. Like he was covering things perfectly, and I was complimenting him in my defensive play. So I think if you can manage to have a solid defense where you know when the blitzer needs to switch, when to switch off of who's going deep or who's going short, um, then it makes life way easier. I find the most stressful times is when I'm on defense and not on offense. Um, so yeah, I would definitely prioritize defense.
Captain of the year, would you agree?
I would agree. Yeah. It's just coverage is hard. Running routes is easy.
There you
That's
go.
pretty much how I would summarize it, to be honest.
Also, I want to say one more thing. In fact, I don't know if Wayne pointed it out in his podcast yet, but I think Prizzo scored 13 straight touchdowns in the playoffs. Like, that's just unheard of.
Yeah.
Wait, can we go back to Wayne's question? He never answered it, by the way.
I never forgot, Priz. I never forgot. But before you deflect back to me, Priz, and being the fake humble, apparently you are showing at the moment. I do have to admit, Ocho, that 13 for 13, and not just 13 for 13 scoring, it was 13 for 13 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And I checked back into when I saw that I had to check back regular season, and he was continuing this efficiency since week 6, I think, where he just was going perfect.
Like, I don't think there's any other quarterback that might be able to do that besides Wayne.
I don't know if I would be able to do that. I'll be honest, Ocho. Not like that. Um, but yeah, so all right, Priz, I just wanted to make that point to answer Ocho's point there. But yes, going back to the real question, Priz, um, do I think I'm the better player? I think if you are a top player, you will always have the confidence in yourself. So, you know, if I talk to Finn, he'll say he's better than me, myself as well, despite, maybe others disagree or agree with him. Um, Now, specifically us, I think that QBs, although we had very different styles of play, I will say that you and I will probably, in terms of probability, have the best probability chance of winning, regardless of who we have. And I think that's the key thing. I think regardless of who we have on our team, we could still get the W. Um, and I think that when it comes to receivers, I think I am a little bit more flashy with certain moves, whereas you're the more efficient player. But to answer all of that, of course, I'm going to put myself as maybe you'll put yourself over me as well. But yes, that would be my answer.
Frizzle would
Like,
never put himself above you, Wayne.
that's right.
Come on.
I,
He's
I
fake
got
humble.
2 follow-ups for you, Wayne.
Sure.
Okay. Say you're QB, and you're going against 3 tier 1 players, and you have 2 rookies. How do you think you would do?
I see where this is going. I think that yeah, no, it'll be a tough game. I think I'll probably end up losing. I think the the rookie in question though is a special case because he's an impact player. Both are impact players, but I mean more so on the defensive side. Um, yeah, no, I agree with that thought process. Three T1s versus two less experienced players definitely favors the T1 teams. Wouldn't say that about every QB if that's that like B T1 maybe. I don't know.
hmm
Shit. Like I'm thinking for example like hmm,
Like, how would you do against um,
Here it comes.
Irv? Um, Turkey, Finn with Intox and Squid.
I think they would have the edge. The edge mainly because of okay, the edge is only if Irv is QB.
Yeah.
If Finn is QB, I say it's a little bit. It's still the edge to them slightly, but I think I have a chance. I think I would have a chance. And this is nothing against Finn. Like Finn's my boy and everything, but I think in a league game of 40 minutes, I think I may be able to get my chances.
Okay. And then my second question, since you're ranking players, I mean, let's just put you on the spot. Maybe Lem too. What are your top 5 players
Top five players in no particular order.
in
Uh,
order?
in
In
order.
order. List
Oh,
them in
Oh,
order.
all right.
In order.
Let me go first.
in order.
In
All
order.
right. Like I've said, it's hard for me to come up with the perfect order. Maybe I'll refine it after I say the names. But for my top 5, I think I'm going Wayne, Priz. Hold on, I gotta rustle through the names in my head.
There's Jeffster,
Oh, definitely Jeff. No, I'm just kidding.
DJ,
Oh,
Dan,
who else is it?
Irv,
Dan,
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 Tony,
Irv, Finn, Tony,
oh, let him
JCK.
do his list already.
All right,
Lemnos,
all right,
Smith,
all right. Here we go.
Duxford, Money,
Dylon,
Lick,
Dylon, and Dylon. Just kidding.
There it is.
No, Wayne, Priz. Oh my God,
Ocho.
no, Ocho, not you, unfortunately.
Irv.
Irv is up there, but he's not 3.
Okay.
Who's 3?
Finn.
No, I think Finn dropped
Dan.
the ball from the Super Bowl. I think Dan is 3. I think Irv is 4, and 5 I think is Smith on a good day,
Ooh. Okay.
Hot take.
because Smith has unfortunately not been able to play as much as all of us, and so he gets he'll get like a random bad game here and there. But when he is all cylinders firing, I love playing with him.
Yeah, I didn't get an answer earlier, but obviously he's way better than the playoff showing because him and Tony showed up last minute and didn't get to really play together in the season. So, yep.
Yes. So that's my list.
There it is. Wayne, your turn.
Um,
No deflecting.
I won't. But so I just have to. I might have forgot. But are we talking about best overall, or are we talking best specific
Best
position?
overall.
Best overall, just yeah, in order.
Okay.
In order.
I will put myself first. I will put. I will put.
Hot take.
I will take. I think Priz will be second. I think third. I would put. Um, Third. I will put. No, remember this is overall. Third overall, I'll put Finn, and then fourth, I'll put Irv, and then fifth would be Dan.
There it is.
So pretty similar to my list, just different with Finn and Smith.
Yeah, I think that'll be my list. Yeah.
Frizzle, how does it feel to be top 2 on 2 people's list as a top 10 player?
Well, overrated at QB, but if I get an RB,
You're a clown.
let me tell you, I'm putting myself 1 at RB.
Oh no.
Ooh.
I don't know about that one, but
Here
sure.
it comes, season 3.
Prism, I'm not sure if you're aware, but top 2 is still part of top 10, so your statement still works.
It does.
That is right.
So you can't get off the hook that easy, Prism. You asked me, you asked Wayne. You got to give your list too.
All right, let me think about it. Honesty, do you want to give a top 5?
I'll go after you.
He's gonna steal your top five, Frizz. I can't wait.
No, I already have my top five.
Okay, we'll see.
That's right.
Don't be shy, Frizzle.
Yeah, I gotta take performances, and it's at any position. Then if I get an RB, I'm gonna take myself, and I'll put Wayne at 2. I'll
I
put
thought there was
Irv
no
at
debate
3.
before. What? You said there was no debate.
So I'm a quarterback.
But a running back, you're better than Wayne?
Oh, I'm the best. Don't
Okay.
forget about the Cuddy game.
He's only fake humble as a quarterback, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, I see.
I guess I'll put Irv at 3, but I gotta say Irv did not have a good playoff game. I think the difference was he kept slowing down as QB and didn't run on Squid, who was doing like a contained spy. But I'll put him 3. And number 4, I'm gonna put Ocho.
Ooh.
And number 5,
Hot take. My goodness.
I'm gonna put Finn.
Wow.
We got some similar overlap between all three of our lists. Some curveballs being Smith and Ocho, but yeah, that's why we all have our own opinions.
Ocho, would you like to share your list and Ducks if you have a list?
You want me to go first?
Sure.
Yep, you're going.
Number 1 has to be Batman, Bruce Wayne. Number 2 is Superman. That's Prizzle. Then number 3 would be Spider-Man, and that's Irv. Number 4. This is where it gets a little tricky. It's like a bit tougher. But I would have to, like, it's hard to not be biased.
You could be biased. We
I
allow
honestly,
those.
if I'm being biased, I put myself
Okay.
4. And
Okay.
then at 5, I would put Finn.
Okay.
There it is.
It was a
Yep.
very similar list to me. Just swap
So
me and Wayne.
I have a very similar list to Ocho as well. But I will just say this. In the league, I haven't had a chance to play versus Prizzle, right? So I haven't felt the true wrath of Prism. I mean, obviously I'm seeing it from the other side, but to play him, I think you really have to experience that to really rank someone 1. I played against Bruce last season. I was cooked. So I got to experience that from Bruce Wayne. So number 1, Bruce Wayne. Number 2, Prism. Number 3, Irv. Number 4, Dan. Number 5, Finn. There it is.
There it is. I will say, Ducks, that I may have got the edge only because, you may have not been in that wide receiver suit. But regardless, you've also improved a lot this season. So maybe Finn just got a better version of you this season. So um, maybe we'll see each other against in another league game, and maybe you'll get to go against Priz. But I don't think Priz wants to see you on the other side.
Yeah, I
Well,
don't think it's not going to be next season, that's for sure, because I think it's going to be more of a rookie QB season, which is great. But hopefully, maybe season 4, the top 2 will come back, suit up on QB, and we'll get another shot at you, or both of you.
There it is. Priz, you wanted to say something?
I was just gonna say Dux is way more improved than Ocho because I feel like last season I don't think he really knew the lures or defense. Like if I would say dive bot, I don't think you entirely knew what I meant.
No, he would mess up like simple stuff like that.
But Ocho Hall of Fame training, Dux. People might not remember he was our coverage guy the first 2 weeks. So the Irv game was, I guess you could say, like the start of our change. That and Cuddy bringing back optimism to our season.
So I think that's a great segue into what I hope to be the final thing about this Super Bowl thing. But we could keep going on if you guys would like. It is that if season 1 Wayne's World played season two Toronto Triple Triples. How would that fare, and what's everyone's thoughts on that? And I would like to start with Lem, but before we get to your opinion there, Lem, is Ocho. Why, like, I have to ask, like, what happened in season one, like, for you to be released? And then number two, was the schedule just not available to play in season one? Like, what? Just curious, what happened there?
For season one, it had nothing to do with Blitz really. I just didn't. I wasn't that into Blitz at all. I just had a lot of personal stuff going on at the time.
Hmm.
And I told Dan, who was a commissioner, that I wouldn't be able to play season one, but hopefully I got my shit together. I'll be able to play in season two, and that's what happened.
Okay. All right. That's a fair answer, and hope those personal things are behind you now. Lem, uh,
Just really quick, I just want to jump in.
yep.
Really appreciate you being able to play season two Ocho and being able to play in the community with us. I know there's like a bunch of silly drama here and there, but overall, it's great to have you around, and I appreciate your time here.
I appreciate that, Lemnos.
Of course.
I love you, Ocho, and I love that you're becoming a pro at Splendor as well.
Yeah, you guys gotta. Everyone listening to this podcast needs to check out Splendor. It's the best board game out right now.
That's right.
Yeah. So Lem, um, we could keep this concise or as long as you like, but basically, season one Wayne's World versus season two Triple Triples. What do you think?
I think season two triple triples are still gonna take the crown. I think Turk, while he is extremely good, still has some opportunities that can be used against him. And if Finn is still too busy playing Valorant, he won't be able to get that coverage chemistry down pat with you. Um, so I think it's possible if you guys played a lot more, practice together more, get that chemistry together more, you guys would take the crown there. But I think right now it's full steam ahead on TTT.
Okay, and Ducks Ocho. We don't have to go through everybody if you guys don't have an opinion, but obviously I imagine that you guys would have confidence in yourselves as you should.
Yeah, I think it's the Ocho difference in coverage is just too much for most teams to handle. He's our defensive coordinator. You know, he would be the one calling defenses generally during our games. Um, and also, you know, Turkey Fry just carried you guys. What can I say?
It's true.
Yeah, me and Money played too safe last season, so I think it's good for me to have as a deeper kind of coverage someone like Ocho.
Yeah, I think that while I don't have like a favorite there, I guess I think that both teams are actually quite similar, very similar. Both great blitzers. Uh, that maybe it just comes down to who covers on the back end better that night. But I think I would say that's a pretty even team. Would you say
Yeah,
so? Would you agree?
I think it's a fairly even matchup, and I say I would use some of those examples from last season as learning lessons. Like one of y'all stops only happened because I stopped short of the first down,
Hmm.
and then I didn't sneak on fourth. Where I think you guys had a 4th and 0, and you were able to get past Stuxer for a sneak. So I think being more open to taking the sneak helped this playoffs a lot.
Also, as I was trying to allude to earlier, if Dux was in his wide receiver unit, maybe he gets that fourth and inches sack on me on that fourth down.
Yeah, and around late season, we thought about doing the change, but we didn't. Money was cooking on offensively, so in retrospect, that would be the change, just to go ahead and do it.
All right, well, we should definitely have this game before it's all said and done, just to see what would happen, and but it shouldn't. I don't think it should happen anytime soon. But maybe down the road we'll have this as a QB showdown if these still exist later on. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, so that's all I wanted to really talk about when it comes to with this respective Super Bowls. Um, we are currently at the 1 hour mark exactly. So, any final thoughts about the Super Bowl that you guys would like to bring up, and then we could get into your topics, and as well as Lem, if there's anything you wanted to add as well.
Just disappointed I fucked up the try D on y'all's first drive. We could have had a stop on the first drive if I didn't fuck it up.
Yes, I remember that was the one where it was improv, and I think I got the pass top deep. I think it was.
Yep.
Yep, I remember.
I played too heavy bot for no reason, but oh well.
I do have one, maybe anticlimactic question, but Finn's World played, all of their teammates. Why didn't you guys play Sin?
Is that a question for
Um,
Prism or is it a question
I
for
guess
Ducks?
I guess
whole
it's for the
team.
captain.
Yes, sir.
Well, we were thinking about playing him if Ocho wasn't going to show, but I had faith in Ocho. I always will have faith in Ocho, especially to show up for a big game like that. He just that's his time to shine when the lights are on and everyone's watching and it's the Super Bowl or a playoff game. That's his territory. He doesn't crack under the pressure. He lives for these moments. So obviously I want that player to be in for that game, right? And this was our dream lineup. This was our planned lineup season 1. Didn't work out. So obviously I'm going to play with my boys for the final game, you know?
I get it. If you're listening out there, Sin, just know that your top position in Tier 5 is not respected.
There it is.
Also, Intox already got the sin treatment, so we couldn't have two people getting one catch.
Oh,
Oh my
true,
God.
true. All right, that's all I had for the Super Bowl questions.
I got a two-part question for you, Wayne.
Hit me up.
So my first question is, what do you prefer, running back or quarterback?
Good question. I think I prefer running back. Um, just because I like the juking aspect more. And then, however, I won't lie to you guys, because as I mentioned earlier, the only thing that like, no matter what, I'm gonna ride with Finn here. Like, he's my boy. Happy to be his teammate for 2 seasons in a row. The only frustrating thing I had, and this is the game was not his fault. I would say the game was 50% at least my fault. But uh, when he was calling certain plays on certain downs, it was frustrating to hear because those are the T3 level quarterback plays that you'll make on during those moments, and he just didn't change it up, and I feel like it put us in a tougher hole to come back. Granted, I was the one that ultimately dropped that first thing, and gave up some touchdowns, but I think the play calling really frustrated me at points of the game, and so it reminded me why sometimes I would play quarterback. However, initially, I do enjoy playing running back more so than QB.
Is this perhaps a new rivalry just getting started between Finn and Wayne?
Oh, you should. If you see Ocho and Priz and stuff like that, like we're similar in the sense that what's that saying, Lem, where like iron sharpens iron or something. Uh,
Yeah, it's I think it's either iron sharpens iron or steel sharpens steel. It's somewhere in our Discord.
exactly. So I think we've always been like this, and you know, does it bring out the best of us? Maybe, maybe not. But no, it's not a no rivalry, and he'll always be apparently third on third or worse amongst amongst all our lists apparently. So yeah, he's not even in the rear view mirror apparently, Ducks. Um, yes, and sorry, Ocho, you said it was a two-part question.
Yeah. So the second part of that question, so let's say you're at running back, right?
Hmm.
I want you to compose your dream team with you at running back,
Ooh,
and then give me your favorite or your ideal opponent to go up against that team.
ooh. Damn, this is tough, but all right. I think it should be fairly simple. I will say that my QB will be Smith. My wide receiver, I'll pay respects to my our OG team, Mr. Troy Brown. Pres, I think you may remember him. Maybe you too, Ocho. I don't know. Um, but
Hmm.
in the current community, who would we have in the wide receiver?
CJ, there's Tony, there's Wick.
Did you say
Duck.
CJ? There's CJ as well.
Yeah, yeah. I think
Turkey.
Prizzle's a big fan of CJ.
Oh, you know what? Turkey's a good one, but I don't know if he complements Smith, so that's the only issue. But Turkey is a great pick. Thanks for bringing that up. But no, I don't think I would choose Turkey. I'll piss off Finn and put him at wide receiver.
Turk, so it'll be Smith, Finn at receiver. Okay.
Yeah.
And what would be their opponent, your dream opponent for that match?
Oh, any team Priz wants to assemble. Any team Priz wants to assemble. Um, maybe that would be the ideal match for us. Um,
I already have my team.
yeah, I think that would be it. Here it is.
All right, I like it. Set it up.
um,
Another show match.
all right. Priz, Ducks, the floor is yours, guys. We could talk about whatever you guys want.
Prizzle, would you like to start with one of your many topics that you wrote down, or would you like me to start with my?
Okay, I got one for I'll
Okay.
do one for both. Who's an underrated player that gives you troubles? Like obviously everyone's gonna have trouble against Lim's blitz or Irv's coverage. What's someone off the beat, who you might not expect? Offensively, defensively.
As I
I'll
said,
I'll take a shot
yeah.
in playing against this. I think this actually happened. Playing against Gurley at blitz as QB. Gurley actually had a really good blitz. It's a shame he's not with us right now in the community.
Did you
But
get a girly shutout?
yeah, Gurley had a I mean, I wish you could hear those podcasts. He gave a lot of QBs some hard times. He obviously had a lot of shortfalls with very many aspects of his play, but his blitz was really getting there. So that's one one surprise. Um, and then I think the other is on the offensive side. I think Squid has kind of exponentially improved at the QB position. It is relatively hard to play against him sometimes these days. And he's making some cool plays and good throws. So, yeah, probably Gurley and Squid for defense and offense, respectively.
I would say Sheep, but he kind of had some crazy games towards the end of the season in terms of blitzing. And I would say Portis, but I feel like that's been said so many times now that it doesn't. He's not really underrated anymore. So I actually don't have an answer yet.
Wayne?
Um, Ocho, you want to go first? I need time to sometime think.
Sorry, what was it? Question?
Who's an off the beat player that gives you troubles, whether offensively or defensively? So not obviously not Irv coverage or Wayne QB, someone like Gurley Blitzen or something like that.
Dude, I think Cuddy's coverage, like, for some reason it works on me. Cuddy has pretty good coverage.
That's a good answer, actually.
Yep, great answer.
Mm, I don't know if this is dodging it, but somebody that gives me some trouble when I QB lately has when I QB for Sin. He's just so heavy, dude. He's just so heavy.
Wait, no, it's supposed to be complimenting a player, not not shitting on them, Wayne. What the hell's wrong with this guy?
uh, yeah.
We're supposed to be complimenting an underrated player, kid.
He's
Oh my
underrated.
god.
He's underrated. No, I think Sin has a lot of potential. So that's why I just said that. But was that the question? Like, which guy gives you the most trouble? But anyways, yes, I get where you come from. So, all right, so if it's not if I can't use that answer, let's go with Krusty's been playing really well lately, and
Krusty underrated is a cop-out answer. Everyone knows he's a god. But anyway, let me answer now, okay?
Okay.
Intox QB.
Oh, the GOAT.
Every time I play against this guy in a pub, he cooks my team. It doesn't matter if I'm what position I'm at. We end up losing the game somehow. So I'm just gonna put it out there that his timing is good. His play calling has improved dramatically, and I really do see the potential. I don't think he's at the Blue Squid level yet in terms of consistency, but the guy has potential.
I wish he played well with me on his team.
He only plays well against me.
Gotta
Yes.
play against you then.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I'm going to answer,
Mhm.
Krusty would be the easy answer because I remember a scrim we had, one of our few scrims against Monopoly Men. He sacked me like 3 times in a row one drive, and I thought he would start for them in playoffs, but that didn't happen. And then based on league, I'm going to say Joe because Joe had like 4 or 5 sacks on me.
Oh, Joe's great. I love Joe.
Yeah. Thanks. This might, I don't know. This doesn't really matter, guys. But I'm just gonna wrap up my portion with Irish last season. Surprised me with all the sacks that he got on me, but I wasn't really surprised or didn't really think he was under the radar. I think he just needs to be active, and then he'll be a solid player. Um, and from the very first tournament, I thought that Squid was sacking me a couple times, more than I thought he should have, and he got to me. So that was early days. But yeah, I just can't recall anybody a recent time besides Krusty, to be honest.
All right, I have the next question, Prizzle.
Okay.
And this is for Prizzle and Honesty mostly. How do you think our season would have played out if we didn't have that legendary Cuddy QB game? And let me say this as well. Prizzle got to play his running back. He had loved it. He caught amazing jump balls. It was just a legendary game for the books, for the ages. Ocho got to sit on the bench and watch Cuddy cook for 40 minutes. He got to watch the comeback of the year. So what are you guys thoughts? Do you think we would have imploded halfway into the season if that game didn't happen? Prizzle, do you think your passion would have been just completely ran out? What are your thoughts?
I think it might have. To set the scene, the week before we had played Irv's team and only put up 8 points. I had COVID. I was hating playing quarterback, so I got to play RB. I got to watch Cuddy win against people that we were starting to think they just don't lose Blitz League games, you know. So Cuddy proved to me that it was possible, and just seeing him win, I was like, okay, I can play quarterback. I think we would have imploded. I think we would have imploded without Cuddy.
Ocho, your thoughts?
Um, I think all of us, like, well, first of all, I think I think it was Duxer. It was your choice to draft Cuddy, right?
Yes.
So I just want to say shout out to you for drafting Cuddy. That might have been the best draft pick of the whole draft. Um, not only for his like that one game that saved our season, arguably, but I think he was the best locker room presence of any non-starter in the game, right?
I think so. Between the play call, like the playmaking and just like being there for us in our final two games there was just huge.
Yes,
Massive.
I mean, like he brought the vibes, he brought the play calls. Like even though Prism scored 13 touchdowns in a row, I will say I don't think he would have done it as well without Cuddy's plays. He was using Cuddy's plays. I'll say that.
Yeah, that's true.
For those
I
of
also want
us,
to
yeah, go
go
ahead,
ahead,
Dux.
Wayne.
No, no, go ahead.
Okay. I also just want to shout out Honesty for that Cuddy game. Obviously, there were some technical difficulties. I was starting to lose it a little bit at one point. Believe it or not, I thought I was the cool, calm, and collected captain, but I was at one point I was like trying to sub Ocho in because I didn't think Cuddy would be able to come back, and Ocho had the patience to wait to not come in immediately and give Cuddy a chance to get his shit together. So
I remember Duxer was like yelling at me for like I think maybe like 15 minutes or something, and he kept telling me to play the game or finish it off because Cuddy couldn't get back online. And I'm like, that's bullshit. I want Cuddy to finish his game. And
And
then
there it
look what
is.
happened. He finished it off with a jump ball Hail Mary.
Yep,
That wouldn't have happened if I just subbed in for him.
that's right.
So to give our listeners some context, and for Lem and I who was not in that locker room, could you maybe share your top three, maybe one of each from you guys, your top three Cutler locker room moments of the season?
I'll
Ooh,
go first.
yeah, go ahead.
You guys should like save some good ones. Pretty recently, Cuddy posted a video of himself and his little boy running a fake high five handoff wide receiver 90 play, and he recorded a little 10-second clip, and that was like right after the Super Bowl win. I think that's like my favorite Cuddy moment right now.
That's beautiful.
Priz, do you got one yet?
Ah, I mean, of
There's
course,
so
the
many.
ending of the win, how hyped he was. But honestly, when he started talking about his threesomes he did and everything like that, I think that's kind of stuck with me. Just seeing how much of a fucking horn dog he was.
Would you consider him a role model?
He's my role model.
That's the breeder.
No. I think well, number one, I just want to shout him out for the rap for the Super Bowl last year. Like that got us super fucking hyped to play. We were watching it on the stream, listening to it at the same time. Like it was a great moment. But this season, it was, he had his whole like moment where he wasn't here for a few weeks. He was getting his shit together in real life. But then he showed up for our playoff game. Like all of a sudden, magically, he's just there for us, and being there for the Super Bowl again. And he was actually in the call with us, pretty much what for most of the Super Bowl. He was just kind of hanging out and just like cheering us on as we played, like little plays here and there. He would be like, "Yeah, get him." So yeah, there was quite a few moments, but those are my main couple. His comeback was a big deal.
Yeah. Oh,
I
it
will
picked,
say,
it picked me up.
sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say it picked me up, and then also I love the random. It'll be 3 p.m. and you'll see a random play dropped in the locker room.
I was gonna say, one of the reasons I really wanted to win this Super Bowl was for Cuddy. That guy's passion is just contagious.
Yep.
Yeah, I hope he can get a reliable internet, computer, mouse, keyboard, headset set up for next season.
Yeah, like I want him to be a full-time starter. He deserves it. Like if you think
Agreed.
about how much he's done for this community, like I'm pretty sure he recruited Ma, he recruited Sin, he recruited like a lot of people. So it's gonna
Maybe
be
Krusty.
Um, Krusty was actually someone else. I think it was actually Lem that might have brought him back, but he actually had learned the game during the same time as Ali and Salmon did apparently. But anyways, yeah, right. Cuddy is the breeder. He's very unique, and I hope that he is able to have his moments to shine, whether it be next season or later. But yes,
his technical issues are, they're pretty adorable too.
yeah. I can't necessarily agree with that, but maybe we're talking about different technical issues, you know. But regardless, color wherever you are, we hope that those things are whatever troubles you may be going through, that they're behind you, and that you could join us again someday. Um, yeah, Lem, anyone else? Anything else you guys would like to bring up? Just to let you guys know, we are currently at the 1 hour and 20 minute mark.
So I do have one question for our TTT guests. So obviously, with possible new league season setup, we're probably going this tiered approach. Even aside from the tiered approach and who can play with who, there might have already been some plans for some dissolution in the members of TTT. So from here on out, who is officially allowed to keep taking on the TTT mantle? Like, who is the real continuation of the Roman Empire here? But in this case, TTT is the Roman Empire.
Well, if Ocho gets captain next year, which I think he's trying to, if he would like, he can continue the TTT name. I think that the whole dynasty thing just adds a little bit of storyline to the league. I think making a new name every year is weird to me, considering my reference point is like Hacksball. We all remember the Comptons and the dynasties and these types of teams that were just legendary for multiple seasons. I think it just adds a bit of storyline and a bit of history. But yeah, Ocho, if he would like to take it on, he may. I'll give him my permission.
That's not confirmed. I have like a. It depends on who captains really. Like I have like a 50% interest. Like if I like the captains, then I won't captain.
Maybe you want to give us some names, like who would you like to see captain for you to be interested?
Like I'm saying, if we got like a good list of 7 to 8 names that like want to captain, then I'm fine not being a captain. Like I'm only volunteering to captain if we needed like one more. Otherwise, like I don't mind either way.
Gotcha.
Gotta be honest, the week before the Super Bowl, I was waiting for the season to end and get with Krusty and everyone, but I'm getting kind of sad about the team breaking up. Kind of want to run it back. I'm gonna
It
miss
would,
Ocho.
it'd be nice, but we got our tiers now, and I don't think it's going to be possible.
How about you, Ocho? Would you like to team up with Prison game one day?
One day, maybe see it again.
Do you
Season
think
21?
do you,
Season 21.
do you think
There
you'll
it
need
is.
do you think you'll need Ducks to be part of this team, or do you think you and Priz could coexist even without Ducks?
Hmm. Well, I guess it'll just completely depend on whoever a third player is.
Okay, that's fair.
What if it was Dan?
Then I think Prizzle would rage quit out. Prizzle, thoughts? Would you rage quit if it's me, you, and Dan?
Not if it's Saturday.
That's what you did last time.
Never again. I'll start sipping too.
I did happen to also rage quit against with Dan on a sippy Saturday day. I couldn't do it. I just wasn't sipping, and I wasn't in the same I don't even know universe as Dan. But it
That's
happens.
unfortunate.
I know. I think in order to make that environment work, you just got to be sipping together.
I think so.
Um,
Like I was sipping and I was enjoying myself.
I think that's what you have to do when you're having a zippy Saturday, was it?
Sippy Saturday.
Yeah, that means you have to be. It's kind of like when in real life, like have you guys gone to like those parties where you're not drinking? You just don't have as much fun unless you were part of uh, the social, I don't know, drinking or social whatever it is you guys might be doing together.
I wouldn't even say it's like you're not having fun. It's like you're hating your life. Being around a bunch of drunk people and you're not drunk, it's like probably the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, it's not great.
Yeah.
Speaking of those tiers that you mentioned, though, Lem, I guess starting with you, Lem, are there any potential duels? Maybe just captain, but I think it'll be more interesting to hear if there's any potential duels you would be interested in seeing next season.
Duels,
Yes.
like dropping the gauntlet and making a duel.
Like at the saloon.
Oh my
No,
god.
Like meeting at high noon.
no,
Yes.
duel, as in just two of the three people on the team. Like which pair
Oh,
of players would you like to see grouped up together? Yeah.
a a duo. I get it. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Um, I honestly don't know. I feel like we've talked so much about these different tiers and different players. I think I got to go consult the list that the anonymous lister put together. Um, I think it would be really wholesome to have Mouton and Kite together.
Those
But
two
that's
are
just
so
me.
cute.
They are cute.
Yeah.
I would agree. Maybe one of them will step up and captain and make that dream a reality.
Yeah, that's true.
How about you, Prince?
Um,
Oh, sorry, you have more?
no, that was it.
I got a team in mind.
Go for it.
So it starts with Mouton, WCK,
Oh my god.
and Ocho, the Alouettes.
The
Ooh.
what? The what? Wait, what do you call them?
The Alouettes.
Here it is. So let me answer this too. I heard the word duel, as in like at high noon. So that's where my brain went.
I knew at the saloon.
So what I want to, the duel I want to see is Sin captain versus Ma captain,
Oh,
and I want to watch them go head to head in the league, baby. With whatever team, it doesn't matter. I just want to see those two go at it. Because I think Sin, he Ma had that rise on Tony's team, right? Everyone said rookie of the year, rookie of the year. Sin didn't really get as much play time. I blame myself. But next year he's coming in hot. I'm just putting that out there.
I want to see Duck splits against Ocho, and I want to commentate the game.
Honesty, how do you think that would go?
I've already seen it happen.
Kid, he's gonna roll back the entire
You've
time and
seen that
just throw it
happen in
into
a
coverage.
league game?
Well, in the pubs, I've seen it. I already, it's gonna go pretty similar.
Oh, it's not. Trust me. I'm different in
And
league games.
I mean, you would have to be, otherwise it's gonna be the same result.
What was the result?
Touchdown.
Oh my god.
Are you just saying that, Krusty, because he's gonna be playing with me, or?
I think Blue Squid is the obvious breakout season, obviously because he hasn't played in the league as a QB and he's been practicing a lot. So that's my easy answer is Blue Squid. I expect you to have a great season.
I'm gonna throw it out of the cuff one if we get a lot of teams. We might have some teams with like a tier 1 and tier 2, or someone go inactive. I'm gonna put out Naito Kagato, aka Colombian Lim.
Why is he Colombian me?
He blitzes like you.
Oh, he does?
Yeah, he's fast.
Oh, interesting. I'm also Colombian. I'm just kidding.
I got a question for Lem and Wayne.
Well, you didn't answer the question Wayne asked.
He doesn't
All right.
care.
You didn't
What was?
care.
Sorry, repeat it.
There it
The
is.
breakout player.
You guys said Squid and Krusty.
Yeah. And Naito. Don't forget about Colombian Lim.
Yeah. Who else even is left?
Sinner.
Sinner. I'll take Sinner, dude.
There it is.
Michelle could come back.
Oh
Ocho
my.
Face could play blitz.
Oh, I don't know if it's gonna be considered a breakout player, but Marc Gasol HOF.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
That guy's in our server. He's ready for season 3.
what about Jeffster?
He's not a breakout player. That's Jeffster.
Is he though? He's people have been saying he's the bottom player.
I
Oh,
mean,
also Romo. That guy is he's a natural.
the thing about Romo is he's gonna have to stop calling cutbacks, and then he might do pretty well for himself.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you guys, like, in terms of blitzing, what's the one biggest weakness or the one thing that you would say is our biggest weakness as a blitzer? Like for me, Ducks and Prism. Like, what's our biggest weaknesses for me, Ducks and Prism, in terms of like one skill at blitz that we should like work on?
I'll let you take the bullet first.
We need one for each of us.
I mean, this is pretty obvious. There it is.
I like it. Lem?
Um, so I think that for focusing mostly on blitz, I think Wayne was right in Ducks needing to improve on some coverage. I think that's mostly just like play time, getting used to like looking at more looks. And then for Ocho, I think your coverage is in general very good. But sometimes you do try to make a read or a gamble and you can get beat on it. So maybe just keeping yourself in better positions when you decide to do those things. Um, and then Prism, I don't, I think I feel like I haven't played like defense against you or played against you while you're on defense in a while. So I don't have anything to comment on there, but I think on offense, at least I noticed this in pubs, once in a while you will try to do like a kind of timing play, but it like won't be open, so you'll throw it anyway, and you give your receiver a tough time to actually go catch it. I think that's it. That's pretty much it for me.
Makes sense.
Um, you only want to hear my opinion? All right. For Wayne, I would say maybe just practice wide receiver more. And for Lemnos, um, I think he underrates his quarterbacking. He just needs to be more consistent at it. If I think he has the potential to be like as good as Smith.
Ooh,
He can be that good if he puts his heart in it.
I appreciate that. It is not. Fair. Another thing that I think I can improve on is I know I love blitzing, but I do get fucked over by the wall a lot of times.
Yeah, that happens when you run into it real hard
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, you get slinged sometimes.
Yes.
All right, well, I got a question, unless you have one. Well, Ducks started talking out about season 3. We haven't talked. Well, we've kind of talked about season 3. How do y'all genuinely feel about season 3 as far as amount of teams and the prospective QB field?
So I'll take that to start because I have the super secret list that I'm not sharing. So right now we still got we have 14 signups. So we still need a lot more. But I think it would be really good to have more diversity on the teams. We had like what I think three of the teams were almost like the same this season. Me and Tony, um, the Prison Ducks, Wayne and Finn. So I think the tiered approaches that we're doing is going to help solve some of that. Did I miss anything that you had said?
The prospective QB field.
Oh, prospective QB field. I think it's going to be um, more rookies. So we might get more exciting random plays, which is cool. So I think we might see, we might see like a, I'm blanking on names now. We might see like a crusty type of QB, possibly. We might see a kite QB. Um, we're gonna get some random people that we haven't really quite seen in competitive league play before.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it'll be
Bruce or
interesting.
Ducks? Go ahead.
Yeah, let me just throw this out there. I think it'll be interesting to see because we're mostly going to have it sounds like a mostly rookie QB season. Priz and Wayne probably are going to be locking themselves out of QBing again, and there's actually the option of locking yourself completely out. Um, I think Irv might be locking himself out as well. So it's actually going to be interesting if we get up to 8 teams. Who are those 8 QBs? I'd have to think about it. Um, Are we going to really be able to get 8 rookies to QB for a full season, or are people going to tilt after 2 league games of them getting, you know, 0 completions? Uh, I think that's a question. But I guess if I really looked at all the names, I could come up with 8 people that could QB decently. But yeah, I haven't looked at a list like that yet and really thought about it.
Yeah, Prism put together a pretty good list. It's really lean though, because if people don't end up playing in season 3, or someone needs to dip out for personal reasons or just is unavailable, then that team's basically screwed.
Where is that list, Prizzle, that you posted? Was that in the locker room?
It's in the 7 or 8 team season 3. Here, I'll
Yeah, I got it. Thank you.
put it in the. Well, actually, no, I can't put it in the chat.
Yeah, okay. That does look actually pretty good.
I just like that. I think awards will be more meaningful. Maybe teams will have more defensive game plan. We'll see more defensive moments, but also with new QBs and people raging and more teams, we might see more trades.
It's true. I want to throw out there for these, whoever these captains might be for season 3, considering the fact that these are all going to be a lot of newer QBs or uh, just maybe less good, not tier 1 QBs. Um, maybe think about drafting someone that is not locked out of their QB position. And I'm not necessarily saying a tier 1 player, but someone that's interested or at least QBs and pubs just to have that option to maybe split halves or play a game here or there because playing every game at QB can be a little frustrating. Just putting that out there. Grizzle knows it too well, some would say.
Yeah, no, I just gonna say I love the method me and Nocho had sometimes, splitting halves. Would recommend it.
I got one final question. So this is for you, Wayne. Um, so for the game of NFL Blitz, right? You're like widely considered, you know, the Michael Jordan of NFL Blitz. So as the best player in NFL Blitz, do you think you've already reached the top skill cap in terms of how good you can realistically get? And then it's like more reps is just like a waste of time? Or if, for example, the league was just full of people on Wayne's level, so a league full of Waynes. Like how Piccolo used to clone himself and then fight himself to train. So if like a league was just a clones of Waynes, how good could you guys get? Or was there like a certain skill cap that you've already reached? But like I guess to like elaborate on my question, my point is like do you think there's like a certain skill cap that once you reach you don't agree like there's a certain skill cap that you can't get better than? Like do you think you can still get better than you are now? No, I'm saying like in terms of you as a like for example, I'll give you a quarterback because that's like the most important position. Do you think you already saw the game as quarterback? That's my question basically. Or do you think you can still get better? All right, I like it. Good answer.
Frizzle, do you have anything else prepared?
No, but I just thought of a quick rapid fire one if you want it.
Yeah, take it.
All right. Would all of you, so you're in a position, would you rather have a threesome with Cuddy with an 8.5 out of 10? If it meant if you don't have the threesome, CJ and Tony get banned, would you have the threesome? Eye contact, 8.5 out of 10.
I don't know if I understand the question.
All right, so the scenario is CJ and Tony are going to get banned from the league unless you have a threesome with Cuddy with an 8.5 out of 10 girl, and you have to have eye contact with Cuddy at certain points during the threesome.
Oh, that's fine. I got perfect confidence in my masculinity to look at Cuddy while that's happening.
And you have to high five at one point.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Ocho?
No comment.
There it is. I think I take the threesome with Cuddy purely for the story. There was a famous story in the Hacksball days where a famous hacksballer named Drug Lord took out another hacksballer, and they had a night full of antics, and it made for great league stories, basically. So yeah, I take the threesome.
Oh, that's great.
Bruce?
I'm sorry, I already banned Tony and CJ.
There it is.
All right.
There it is. All right. Maybe two more rapid ones. I like the speed of those. So, if you want to give us one or two, anyone, feel free to take them.
I just got one for honesty and Prizzle real quick. It's in the same vein as my previous question about how our season would have went if Cuddy wasn't there for us. And this one is a little bit different, but it's how do you think our season would have went, Prizzle and Ocho, if A asterisk, P asterisk, and Prism's girlfriend weren't wishing us luck every game and watching down on us?
Oh.
It would have been 0-7.
Prizzle?
I think that's probably right, yeah.
I agree.
Those good luck texts at 10 p.m. Oh,
Yep,
you can't lose when you get that.
you can't lose. All right, that was rapid fire as it gets.
I got one question for all of you guys. What's the most exciting play in Blitz?
End off.
Mm,
Oh,
Fake
mm,
wildcat, play action, route.
any route doesn't matter.
Any route, doesn't matter.
Okay, I like it.
mm.
Oh, I know what Limnosis is.
Definitely the screen out, the Lem Special original.
Not the limb hop?
Oh no, I thought we were talking about offensive plays.
It could be anything.
Not the
Oh,
not,
oh, oh,
not the
oh.
Lem field goal.
No, the field goals are just because I was bad and I'm still bad. But I think it's so satisfying to get across that line right when the timer goes off and the QB's not expecting that. That's definitely the most feel good scenario.
I'm gonna go with kind of similar to Wayne's answer. Um, Not a handoff exactly, but some sort of designed toss play specifically from Jeffster.
There it is. All right. Lem, do you? I don't know if we asked any questions. Do you have any rapid questions you want to ask these guys?
No rapid questions. I think we covered a lot of information
Hmm.
altogether today.
He's busy playing something. What are you
Clicking, by the
playing?
way.
You've been clicking the
Clicking?
last like
He's
30
blitzing.
minutes.
He's blitzing.
What are you
Oh,
talking about?
oh, you're playing
You've been
something.
clicking
He's
for like
blitzing.
so long now. My goodness.
Who's clicking?
You, it sounds like you're shaking something.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just nervous.
All right,
I'm cooking.
I got one question for us, and then we'll sign off, guys. I have to unfortunately walk my dog, so yeah. My final question for you guys is each of you guys get to answer from TTT. Um, who is the MVP of your season?
Ocho.
Prism.
Duxor.
There. There it
That's
is.
funny.
All right. Well, thanks, guys. Thanks for
Wait.
yeah.
Before we end off,
And I have two announcements too.
Okay.
Oh,
I have
God.
I have one announcement. You might have seen it on the announcements channel and Discord, but we will be having an off-season tournament or preseason, off-season tournament between season 2 and season 3. It is the SCBL Autumn 2024 Pumpkin Spice Latte Tournament. We're going to be bundling up together, getting cozy, enjoying some pumpkin spice lattes. And more importantly, we'll be testing out the tier system and seeing how it might balance and what the prospective season 3 might look like. So make sure you guys sign up and we can try to figure out how we're going to do that and refine rules and have a fun tournament with cash prizes. Check the
Yes.
post for more details.
Yeah. Thank you, Len, for hosting that. And yes, everybody go and sign up for that one. And Priz, you had mentioned you might have two announcements.
Two announcements. One, the league needs more show matches, I hear. So look out possibly for a Toronto Triple Triples family reunion show match, bringing money back and this season's roster, maybe even Ehon. Look out for it.
All
He'll
right.
be
And then
on. He'll be in the chat.
secondly, I think there's going to be a media post in the works. I'm not going to say what about. Let's just say there's some production going on.
And when will this be ready?
I'm not sure. I got to get with their people.
Okay, gotcha.
All right. Well, look, we're looking forward to it. I think that if it's anything like the Toronto Triple Triple introduction video, that I think the community will enjoy it. So, thank you guys for joining us. Congrats on a great season. Congrats on the giving Cutler and Sin a ring as well. And yeah, I think Duck, since you did the introduction, would you like to also do the outro here for us?
What was that old outro? Thanks, guys, for listening. Thank you for having us, Wayne and Lem.
I love you,
And
Ocho.
triples for life.
There it is. All
Glad
right.
to have you guys.
All right. Thank you guys. All right. GG's.
GG's.